Welcome to Horror Flicks and Music Mix. We are your hosts. I'm Dustin.
And I'm Kevin. On this podcast, we discuss horror films, the scores, and the people behind the movies.
If this is your first time listening, thank you. Our goal with this podcast is to fully analyze a variety of horror films as well as give our unfiltered opinions on said films. And today is our last hoorah of 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting that we're doing a Martin Scorsese movie.
Yeah,
But
you don't really tie him with
like,
horror in any way,
not
and
at all.
so it's really cool that we get to cover him. And this is Shutter Island, from 2010, which I would say out of all of his films is very, very underrated. And I know it got some middling reviews, and it's one of his only films that was not nominated at all, which I'm like, I remember when I first saw this, I thought it was brilliant. I actually had this on DVD and I watched it regularly and I still love it. Yeah. So I don't know. It's because I just remember seeing it in like 20. Yeah. I think I saw it when it came out. I didn't see it in theaters, but I rented it and I was like, I loved this. And then I bought it. So way
Nice.
back when did you first see it?
I think I saw it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I did. So yeah, 2010,
Yeah.
16 years ago.
Boy.
Oh, and another just to put 2010. That's the year I graduated.
Same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're old people. They 2010, yeah. And that's kind of like, I don't know. The older you get, you kind of just use like events for like trying to remember timelines and what happened
Mm-hmm.
when.
Yep.
But yeah, a little tangent onto Shutter Island. Well, actually, no, it's kind of like, so this movie's great. Even like going back, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen it for years. I watched it a handful of times back in the day. I've seen it plenty of times,
Yep.
but on this time, I still noticed more stuff,
Oh yeah. There's a
which
lot.
and I think it's because of how I like look at movies now compared to whenever I watched this. It's been a long time.
And Scorsese's a genius, so that helps.
There are a couple things with this movie. I have some gripes,
Hmm.
but it's more so like how fake some of the stuff looks. Like there's one scene where was it Ted Levine?
Oh,
And he
Teddy
picks up
Daniels.
Lee. No. It's the dude from Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill.
Oh yes, yes, yes. The
He's the
warden. The
yeah,
warden.
he's
Yeah.
the warden, and he picks Leo up, and they're driving, and the background just looks so fake. It looks so
Mm.
fake, but that's other than that,
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah.
that's just
tw-
yeah.
2010 tech. I mean, that's some of the
It probably
CGI.
looked
Some of
good
it
back
was kind of
then,
like, yeah.
but now it's like, oh god, it did not
Mm-hmm.
it did not age well.
Right.
Uh, so yes, on to the tagline. Someone is missing. Interesting.
Yeah.
Who's missing? Who is the 67th patient?
Uh-huh.
Spoiler free short summary. U.S. Marshal Teddy Daniels is given a missing persons case at a remote hospital off the coast of Boston, which is funny because
I know. I was like, mhm.
just watched this after coming back from Boston. Well, we didn't even spend time in Boston, but either way,
Yeah.
Shutter Island. When he arrives, he soon realizes everyone there is hiding something,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone
Yeah.
is in on it.
Everybody.
It's kind of crazy. You're like, I think everybody's in on this, and everybody is on it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Very
yep.
cool. Boy, some triggers though.
Oh gosh, we concentration camps,
It's
children deaths,
that's the big one because
racial slurs.
that hits harder more for me the last like when I first watched I was sad, but now it's like double.
Oh yeah,
Oof. Yeah. So
it's messed up. There's some messed
but
up stuff in this one for sure.
I mean I'm literally just reading a Stephen King book, The Tommy Knockers, which
Mm.
Some people don't like that book at all, but there is a scene in the book where he describes a man who thought his wife was sleeping around, so he slit the throat of the newborn baby and her. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh Jesus.
I'm like,
God,
Stephen King, you got to calm the fuck down.
God damn.
Yeah, I was like, that was a bit much. Then that's where some of his works, like, they really do get me. That's why there's a certain part of The Shining, the book, not the movie, that I still can't get out of my head just because how demented it was. And I think that's why I find the book scarier than the movie. I love
Mm.
both, but that's a story for another day. This is also based on a book, so that's cool.
I know.
Well,
I didn't realize that. I want to read it now.
yeah. Title card, and we see Leo DiCaprio, Teddy Daniels on a boat, not the Titanic this time, throwing up his guts because of seasickness. He goes up to meet
Mm.
his partner from Seattle, or well, he says Portland, like, not Seattle, named Chuck Owley,
Yeah.
talking about a missing persons case, and they're federal marshals. Federal marshals.
Well, yeah.
Federal
U.S.
marshals.
Federal Marshals.
There's marshal. They got the
I
very
can't. I
Boston accent.
can't do it.
Yeah, federal marshals. As they're
Oh,
right.
the Boston accent. Fun story, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Addie and I were walking around up in Provincetown, Cape Cod, and there's this. We were just overhearing this dude on the phone, very thick Boston accent. He
Mm-hmm.
was talking about some hot dogs and ham. Well, I really like what they did with the hot dogs, but I don't know what they changed something up with the hamburgers. I didn't like the hamburgers this time, and we were just like trying not to laugh, but like then we were quoting that guy all week.
Oh my gosh,
The
that's
hot
funny.
dogs and the hamburgers.
Hamburgers. Got to get to the car.
You gotta get the cow down there. Yeah. All right.
Yep. So we get a little bit of backstory here as they're arriving. They're discussing that Teddy had a wife, but she died in a fire in their apartment. It's funny how much that changes consistently, like that story, but we'll get there. Obviously, this is going to be a lot of spoilers. So
If you haven't seen this movie, stop listening. Because this movie is like, if you don't know the spoiler after 16 years, then fucking go watch this. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you listen from here on out, you've been warned. That's about it.
Yes.
Because
Oh yeah. As they come into the dock, we meet Deputy McPherson, who tells them they're looking for a missing patient. She's been gone the last 24 hours. Her name is Rachel Solano. Rachel Solando. I said Solano. Solando.
Yeah, Solando.
As they drive up, we get a little history of the island. They talk about how it was a Civil War fort. So that's why Ward C is there. We got Ward A and B for the men and the women. And Dr. Cowley, played by Ben Kingsley. Hell yeah. He's the one who oversees everything, taking the most criminally insane and hard to control and bring them to this facility. As they enter ground, they're forced to remove their firearms. Wait, we have to give you our firearms.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Boston people.
I know, but guys, that accent is I love it. It's beautiful. As Teddy's walking around the grounds, yeah. So they have to remove the firearms. They give it to the deputy, and he starts kind of looking around at some of the patients, and we get our very first like what the hell type deal here, where we see one of them is like she barely has any hair and she looks like she has a lot of scarring. She looks at him and puts her finger up to her mouth like this, and he's obviously all creeped out. And that's our very first like, oh, something's different here. Well, McPherson is talking about the brilliance of Dr. Cowley. Intelligence agencies around the world come and speak to him. His methods are the best. Like, he's just talking them up big time. And Teddy's like, well, wait, you say that they got MI6 and all the FBI coming here? Yeah, I'll stop. It's just it's Leo DiCaprio's Boston accent just constantly in my brain. I've seen this movie now, gosh, would be like 11 times basically. Yeah, he says, well, yeah, you'll just have to ask him yourself. They finally meet Dr. Cowley in his study, learn about their missing patient. As they're looking around his office, Teddy sees that there's drawings of patients, how they used to be mistreated, how they used to have lobotomies and all these awful things. And Dr. Cowley's like, I want to see them as patients, not victims. Teddy asks when Rachel's been missing and asks to look around her room, but he gets an awful headache. And all of a sudden he's like, I need an aspirin. So it gives him an aspirin for, well, later what we find out will be migraines. But as
Yeah.
that headache's happening, we see a vision of a concentration camp all of a sudden. So there's obviously some PTSD involved there.
Yep.
So as we get into this, what do you think of our main character, Teddy Daniels, so far, played by Leo?
I wish I could remember like how I felt about it watching this for the first time 16 years ago.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I like Leo. I like Leo. I know there's all those things about how he likes to date younger women.
Yeah.
You know, that's not my problem. I like Leo as an actor, and I think this movie, the cast is stacked. Like
Oh.
going back and watching this,
Mm.
definitely didn't realize back then. But no, okay, where am I at with all of it right now? Like, it's yeah, you're curious. It sets you up for this mystery thriller, suspense thriller, missing persons investigation with a bunch of fucking weird people. So you're like, all right, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, sorry,
As
it's
the
on. Okay, yeah,
uh,
noticing more stuff. It's on the TV right now.
and it's one of those films that even after seeing it so many times, there's things I noticed this time I didn't the last 10 times. So it's one of those movies that I feel is criminally underrated and should be seen by anyone that likes. It's not even. I mean, yes, there's horror elements, obviously, but a psychological thriller mystery that
Oh,
is.
the creepy lady also has like a scar on her throat. I don't know if you said
Mm,
that or not.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Oh yeah, I did not. As looking around Rachel Solando's room, Teddy finds a little note in the corner, and it says, "The law of four. Who is 67?" And no for our Gen Z. Oh God,
6, 7, 6, 7. Dude, I
I'm
think
done.
Addie said that. I think Addie said that when we were watching it. She's like 6, 7, and I was like, oh
Oh,
my god,
oh.
why, why,
I'm gonna
why?
have to. I think it is. Hopefully, I'm gonna ask this next group of seventh graders coming in, but I'm pretty sure it's dead now. So thank goodness. This is
No,
gonna be some other.
because we
Oh
were on our
no.
ghost tour in Salem, and there were some kids across the street
Uh,
screaming 6, 7.
oh God. Well, that's just Salem though.
It,
They don't have anything else better to do other than
yeah,
look
it's a
at
bunch of
ghosts.
tourists and
Yeah.
fucking. It's a tourist town now.
Damn kids. Anyway, Dr. Kelly has no clue what that means, and Teddy asks the doctor if he can get information on all the staff on the island. He says, "Oh, I could try to get them all, but I can get you to interview them all at once." Already, we can tell the fact that Dr. Kelly was so hesitant to give him everyone's information. It's interesting. Um, they start going out on the rocks to search for her. He notices that as they're all going out, all the other guards are sitting around.
Yeah,
And I was
they're just
waiting for
like
one of them just to
throwing
say, "We ain't
rocks.
find shit."
We ain't found shit. Yeah, they're like
And
just sitting, skipping rocks. They're not looking.
yes. And it's like all these little things, like when we get to the ending, it's like, wow,
Well, it's
I
funny
did not.
because yeah, the first time you think, oh, these guys are just shitty security, whatever, they don't care. But then you watch it again and you're like, oh,
Yep, a lot of
oh,
connections here. Teddy sees a lighthouse and asks about it, being told it's a sewage treatment facility that happens to be guarded by guards.
yeah,
He's obviously like, I ain't buying that. Later that evening, all of the staff are gathered in the common room to talk to Teddy and Chuck. And Dr. Cowley's in the corner at his desk taking notes. They all give their stories of when lights were out. The guard was at a room, but he had to go use the restroom. And then Dr. Cowley's like, "Oh, you broke protocol." And it's like, as funny as for what we know much later, it's like, yeah, anyway, we'll get to that.
yeah,
And then they're asking like, okay, well, Rachel met with in a group therapy session with Dr. Sheehan, and Teddy's like, well, hey, okay, where's Dr. Sheehan? Oh, he's gone on vacation right the day you got here. It's like, oh,
yep,
they try to reach him over the phone lines, but they're down because of the storm. Of course, there's a storm. Dr. Colley invites them to his fancy ass lounge room to talk more, and that is when Teddy meets another doctor, Dr. Naring, played by Max von Sydow. Man,
yeah.
a
Who
badass.
I didn't realize who that was until watching it this time, and I was like, oh shit. For
Yes,
those
and
who don't know, it's
right.
the father from The Exorcist.
Yeah, yeah. right away, Teddy feels very defensive, and he even says, Dr. Naring says, incredible defense mechanisms, because already he's very
Yeah.
weary of the doctor. He starts speaking to him in German, because he has, obviously, this is only 9 years after World War II. So there's still a lot of tension between German expats and Americans in general. So he psychoanalyzes Teddy, and he starts, and he's saying, like, seem like you're not a violent man, you're a man of violence.
Yep.
Like, interesting.
Mm.
Asking, and then of course Teddy starts asking me if he's ever seen a concentration camp, and then we see a memory of him at a concentration camp liberating it, and it's Dachau, which is one of the worst ones, that in Auschwitz. He sees papers flying everywhere, music playing is Mahler, which he identified in the room at the time, and all these little things. Yet again, there's just I just love how many little tidbits are placed within the film that are like, wow, it all makes sense in the end. Um,
Yep.
and we see in this flashback, he liberated the camp, and one of the Nazi officer on staff shot himself, but was still alive. And as the officer tried to finish the job, Teddy slides the gun away from him, which that's how you should treat Nazis. So, yeah, gosh. So we get this guy so Teddy definitely has quite a bit of trauma. So it's kind of like the typical, like, rugged cop that has a horrible history and is just barely hanging on to his job. But so it's almost like a classic, noir thriller, but
Yeah.
it's turned on its head completely, obviously, because
Yeah.
he's
Noir.
he's not constantly, you know, yeah, we'll get to that. So,
And I
yeah,
think
go ahead.
this is one of those, like you said, all the tidbits. And I love movies that feed here's a little sprinkle, here's a little sprinkle, here's a little sprinkle. But then sometimes when you go back and watch those movies, they're not as good because But this movie, you go back and you watch it, and because you pick up more, which is which is great.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. I think that, and I think a good chunk of Lynch films do that too, even though those are a
Oh,
lot more esoteric. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, so Teddy is trying to have Dr. Colley give him personnel information of everyone there. And he's like, actually, no, sorry, I just talked to Dr. Naring. We can't do that for you. Sorry. He gets very upset and says, you know what? We're going on a ferry boat the next morning. We're done.
We're out. Yeah.
They sleep in
Get
the
the ferry
orderly.
to Boston. We're gonna figure out what's going on around here.
Oh, we're going to blow the lid off this place, Chuck.
Yeah, blow the lid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They sleep in the orderly quarters, and Chuck asks him, like, are we really giving up? And Teddy's like, I'm unsure about it. And he's like, Chuck is basically thinking that he's just trying to strong arm them into, at least getting some information. Well, we get the first of many dream sequences. And he dreams of his former wife in their apartment, talking about why he drinks so much at the time. She tells him that Rachel's still on the island, and so is a man named Ladis. We'll find out who that is later. We start seeing Ash move around the entire room as Rachel, his former wife, describes Dolores, his former wife, describes their time in the summer at the cabin by the lake, and they have this touching moment looking at the sunset. And then she's like, you have to let me go. And she starts bleeding from her stomach and starts turning into ash. And Teddy wakes up and sees the storm has gotten much worse. So he decides to go see Dr. Colley and let him know, look, the investigation is still on. It's not like we can go anywhere anyway. Yeah. So those damn storms. They start interviewing patients about Rachel Solando. The first, they interview a man who tore a woman's face off, and basically sounds like a typical incel far-right lunatic. And Teddy decides to have fun at his expense by having a pencil like scribble out, because he doesn't know anything about Rachel other than that she goes to the therapy sessions, and so he's useless. He's whisked away. They next meet a woman who is like, wow, you seem pretty normal compared to the rest of the patients here. She's like, well, when I have an abusive husband, I killed him with an axe. I guess they call me crazy. Well, good for her. I'd give her a medal. She doesn't know anything except when Chuck goes to get a drink of water for her, she grabs Teddy's notebook and writes something on it and hands it back to him. And later he finds out it says "run." Ooh. And at that
Mm.
point, they decide to go out into the storm to look around and see if they can find any luck with finding Rachel Solando. And they go to a nearby cemetery. As looking around, the storm's getting worse and worse, and they decided to take shelter in a nearby mortuary. So we're
Turn
kind
into
of
a goddamn hurricane out here.
goddamn hurricane. Yeah. So at this point, I'm this mystery is always just so fascinating to me because it's later when it starts to unravel, like just how kind of ridiculous the whole thing is. But like, I don't know when I wish I could, you're right. I wish I could go back to when I first watched this and what I was thinking
Yeah.
because now I obviously have a much different approach to it. But that very first time,
Well, the first time you're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then the end happens, and you're like, "Fuck, what?"
yeah,
But then watching it again, you're like, "Oh shit." Yeah, I know it was so long ago.
yeah,
I think you
yeah.
did. If I want to like just gut feeling, like first time watching this 16 years ago, I was in it. I was like, "All right, what's going
Mhm.
on? What's this mystery? What's the Nazi shit? What's the wife stuff? What there's two or three different little things going on, but it all comes together."
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, yeah, they're trying to paint like Dr. Kelly's hiding something. Dr. Naring might be a former Nazi, scientist who experimented on people in
Right.
the Holocaust. So like all of these are setting up like, this is a facility where something really bad's going down. Well, we get more of Teddy's story. So as they're hiding in the mortuary, Teddy starts talking to Chuck and kind of like saying, "Well, here's my life story. During World War II, his regiment went to Dachau, and when they got there, they obviously saw the effects of the Holocaust, and they lined up every single Nazi officer and killed all of them.
Mowed them
And
down.
and interesting about that is that there are instances where that did happen
Mm.
um,
Mm-mm.
in some of the liberated camps. Interesting enough, though, it a lot of the times they were just a lot of times they were taken prisoner and brought to even with that. But I know for like on the other side, when the Soviet Union was taking over a lot of these areas, they just killed every single Nazi prisoner like nothing. But yet again, it's nice to see Nazis get their up and comings. That's the best part of the movie. And as he confides to Chuck about why he's really there, he's like, "Look, I'm actually not here to find Rachel Solando. I'm here to find Latest, but not to kill him, to figure out what's going on with this facility." Because he starts telling the story is that there's this kid that he met, an 18-year-old kid named George Noyce, who was let go from the facility. And when he was let go, he snapped and killed 3 people in a bar. Afterwards, he begged the judge not to send him back to Ashcliff, which that's the name of Shutter Island. That's the facility. Teddy thinks there's a huge conspiracy and they're going to blow the lid off the place. But Chuck
Oh,
says,
there.
wait. And then Chuck starts questioning him. Well, wait a minute. What if all this is a ploy to get you here? What if the government knows you were getting too close? Tay starts questioning what he's doing there. Then the guards find them and pick them up and take them back to Dr. Cowley, who's in the middle of a meeting with the board. So this kind of throwing this wrench into everything. And
Yeah.
now it's like it's not actually about Solando, it's about this latest guy. And the reason why is because he was the one who set fire to their apartment, who killed his wife. Yeah. It's you just start seeing there's just it's the thickest onion of a film ever because there's so many layers. Just keep pulling them off one by one.
Yep.
Well, now they're in this board meeting, and after questioning Dr. Cowley about like, what the hell's going on here, we see Naring again, and Teddy then asks the doctor, "Hey, look, this riddle, the law of four." And then one of the board members says, "The law of four." Love that one. And the 10 times watching it, I never like, why does he say that? And now it's like, oh, man, it's all these little things. It's a brilliant movie, brilliant. And
What is the law for?
yeah, they
It
find
isn't
out.
that. Hold on.
Hmm?
All right. Spoiler, people.
Oh, well,
If
no,
you
don't
have,
tell him yet. No,
well,
well, shoot,
okay.
yeah, no, it's okay. Go ahead.
Do they ever say what the law for is?
Yep, I got you.
I'm
Mhm.
okay. I missed it, or maybe I, maybe it just, maybe I know,
Oh,
maybe I don't.
I mean, you could talk about it. I mean, yeah, I'll talk about it here in like a few paragraphs. Yeah. Um, and of course, the other question was number 67. And when he walked into the meeting, they were laying out like the patients with the storm, like where are they going to go? And he finds out that there are
Right.
66 patients at Ashcliff, yet who's number 67?
But the paper
Dr.
implies 60. He's like, but this paper says 67. So what the fuck's going on?
Yep. Dr.
Yes.
Colley assures him he has no clue, but great news. They found Rachel. Oh,
Ah,
they take Teddy and Chuck to her cell to talk to her and asking questions if she knows anything. And she's obviously very out of it. She's like, "Oh, what is these people doing in my house?" Like
kind of
she
funny.
thinks she's living this delusion that she's still, like lives in her neighborhood and everyone's her neighbors. And yeah.
She was even one of that actresses. I was like, why do I know her? And funny, I didn't even mean to wear my Stab shirt, but
She's in Scream
she plays
3.
she plays Sydney in Stab 3. That
Or
never happened.
Stab through Scream. Yeah.
Yeah. Emily Mortimer.
Yeah. No,
Mortimer.
she's
My cat's name. So I'm like, oh shit,
Mortimer.
Mortimer. That's a cool
Yeah.
name.
Very cool.
Yeah, she's crazy in this though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because she's giving her speech to Teddy, and like Teddy's pretending that he's her husband to get her to talk. And then all of a sudden she's like, wait, you're not my husband. It's like, my
Yeah.
husband's dead and buried. Who the fuck are you? It's like the way she
Right.
says that, like, oh. And then she starts having an episode, and Teddy starts having an episode, and they rush him back to
Oh
Dr.
god.
Cowley's office, and he's having like a migraine. And he's like, oh, it looks, Dr. Cowley's like, it's a massive migraine, something like that.
Just
And
thinking
they like,
about what are like the doctor and everybody after knowing everything, what are they thinking in that moment? They're like, oh shit.
uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. Because he's losing it. They give him some medicine to calm him
Yeah.
down, and then they basically pull his ass up and bring him down to the basement with the other patients to lie down and rest. And while they're doing that, we also see in the corner the warden,
Mm.
who when I
Is it
every time I
Levine?
see him, yeah, every time I see him, I just want to hear Goodbye Horses playing in the background. See,
And it's funny because the last time I seen him was in Flubber for Film Club, and he's the
that's
bad guy in Flubber,
that's so funny to
which is
think about.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
He's also in the TV show Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen on Netflix, which is excellent. It's not as good as Widow's Bay, but it's pretty darn close. I'd recommend it. Um, so he's brought into the basement. And they say that he seems like a hard ass, and like, oh, you don't know the half of it. He goes to sleep, and we get our second crazy ass dream.
Oh
And
man.
this one, he's walking through the ruins of Dachau and sees all the bodies. But this time,
Mm,
one of the bodies is Rachel Solando and a little girl. The little girl asks why he didn't
yeah.
save them all. And obviously, I can remember this. My gut instinct, I'm like, man, they're literally blaming the whole Holocaust on him. He has some
It's all
real, like,
not didn't mean to laugh at that
no, I get what you mean.
that
But
way.
when you
Yeah.
first watch that, you're just like,
You're just
man,
like, oh
that's a lot of
fuck.
regret. That is heavy regret, because he can't blame
Yeah.
himself for that. Obviously, that's not what it is. But yeah, then in this dream, he goes to Kali's study, and he's all alone, except for there's a man in the chair, and his name is Latus. Latus. He talks to him, and they seem to have a nice little chat. He says, look, you need to be careful of your wife. And then as soon as he says that, he turns around, he sees Rachel Solando, and it's like, can you help me? And she's covered in blood, and he looks down. There are 3 dead children on the ground.
Hmm.
Because in the because
Mhm.
in the background, Rachel Solando, she is put in that facility because she drowned her 3 children at a lake house.
Hmm.
Anyway, um, yeah. So he says, he, he says, what can I, so I think I can get into trouble. She's and says nothing. He starts carrying the daughter, the little girl, um, and she's like asking why he didn't save them. Um, oh man, just a lot of brain fuckery going on here. Um, and then he decides, and then in this dream, he's now at this lake house and drops the girl's body in the water. He wakes up to see his wife, Rachel. Sorry, Dolores. I keep getting the names mixed up. He sees his wife, Dolores, now telling him, because the Rachel was the person he was helping with the children. Then he wakes up and it's this dream within a dream. This is Dolores telling him, hey, you need to find Ladis. He's still alive. He's here. You need to kill him dead. And he asks her, wait, why are you all wet, baby?
And then he
And
wakes up and he's in
wakes up.
Christopher Nolan's Inception.
Basically, he
Like,
basically is. I mean, it's funny because he was in that film the exact same year. Wow.
was it?
It's
Was it the same?
2010? Yeah, right. Wait.
God, that movie that came out
Yeah?
that no. Let's look. I'll look.
Or was it 2011? It's very next year. I'm pretty sure it was 2010.
Let's see
Because
here. God, did that movie come out
two,
forever ago?
2005, Nolan came out with Batman Begins. 2008 was Dark
Oh,
Knight.
it is. Yep.
Yeah, okay. And then 2010 or 2011 is when Dark Knight Returns with Bane came out.
What the fuck? I watched this 4 years ago. I watched Inception 4 years ago and rated it 3 stars, apparently.
Oh, that's tough.
What?
Huh. You got to change
Well,
that.
I think I think that's when I first got Letterboxd and I didn't know how it actually worked. So I was
Mhm.
just like rating and trying to
I did.
keep. I think
Yeah.
that's what happened 4 years ago. I think that's what
I
happened.
just have to watch it again and then give it a true rating. Yeah.
A true rating.
There you go.
I'm just going to remove that actually.
There you are. Well, Teddy is awake from his dream, and now everyone's freaking out because the power generators have all gone off. So that means there's no electricity. There are um, there are patients running around the entire island now. It's kind of chaotic. And amidst this chaos, Teddy and Chuck decide, hey, that's a chance to get toward C. They walk on over to Ward C, which is the one on the way back there that houses the most dangerous criminals. They see the place is housed. Yeah, one of the worst. They arrive and there's a guard there to say, hey, shit is real up in here. And then he walks away. Like that's it. He literally just is like, yeah, there's bad shit in here. And he walks away. It's like, okay. Thanks. Teddy is walking up with Chuck, and all of a sudden one of the patients says tag and like runs into him.
Yeah.
And Teddy's like freaking out, and Chuck's like, whoa, whoa, boss, calm down, calm down. And he gets tackled by this same inmate, and this inmate is like got him in chokehold and telling him about hydrogen bombs and how they work, and like why we stay here is because the world out there is just too scary. Teddy gets out of this chokehold and starts beating the absolute shit out of this guy, and Chuck tells him to stop, cool it. And a random guard comes up and starts to help the patient that was beaten and tells Teddy, hey, you go away, you go walk it off.
Which the first time you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. When you
Take a
find out,
take a walk or take a hike or something.
yeah. It's like, wait, okay. Well, now we're walking into the darkest depths of Ward C. Teddy starts using his matches. We see a room full of dongs.
Yeah.
Other, I was just like, whoop. Other
Yeah.
patient, yep. And then we see other patients. Some are praying. One guy is peeling off his skin, putting it on the
Trigger
wall.
warning, dong.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Go back to that.
That's yep. The
Type of
dongs.
thing.
Is it dong dong
The dong, the dong.
dong da dong dong? It is, yeah.
At least it's
And
not 28 years later. All right,
oh,
people. These are very hidden, well hidden in comparison.
no, not
Well,
in the version I watched.
in comparison. In
Well,
comparison.
okay, that's true. That's true. Okay. Or like Infinity Pool. It's just like, oh my.
Oh
Anyway,
God.
Yeah, I remember that. Or anything done by Gaspar Noé. Oh boy.
The nipple poop.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Sorry, people.
So, some people have
If
not seen
there-
that movie now. They have no clue what we're talking about. I love that movie, but boy, was it awkward.
Dude, that was something. Yeah.
It is soon revealed that this man is he sees a man in the corner and he says, latest. He's like, wait, who is that? Who is that? And we find out that this man is George Noyce. And it's funny, it's the same actor, Jackie Earle Haley, who played Freddy Krueger the same year.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
told
like,
Addie that. I was like, you see
and
that guy?
yeah. I mean, yet again,
When was Watchmen?
he's a fine actor, but boy, that movie is the worst piece of shit I've ever seen.
Oh, a year before.
Mm-hmm.
Watchmen.
Watchmen. Yep, he was
He's
Rorschach.
Rorschach, yeah.
Love Watchmen. The guy he talked to about Shutter Island and was supposed to be in prison, like he's like, oh, this George Noyce here, and George Noyce shows him his face all beat up and tells Teddy, you did this. And Teddy's like obviously very confused, like, what do you mean? Noyce keeps telling Teddy that he's in his cell because of Teddy and that he's not really investigating anything. You're not investigating anything. It's all a ploy. He tells him it's all a ruse and his partner should be questioned. He doesn't know his partner. Like, what partner? He says he has a choice. You can't kill Latus and investigate what's going on. Like, Noyce is trying to get him to see reason. And it basically keeps going to the point. It's like, they're going to keep me in here because of you. They're going to mess with my brain because of you. Teddy promises him, oh, look, I won't kill Latus. And then in the middle of the cell, he sees his ex-wife, Dolores, in the corner, reminding him of their time together. And Noyce is saying, don't listen to her. You have to let her go. Teddy says he can't do it. Then Noyce said, you'll never leave this island. And Latus is in the lighthouse. Ooh. So, wow.
Big fucking hammers dropping, dude.
Yeah.
In that scene, you're like, what?
And
he's right. You can't let her go. You'll never leave the island.
I think just the way that when it comes to a film that
crazy guy made the most sense.
Yeah. When it comes to a film that has such a giant mystery that is building behind it, that, you know, you can't give it away too soon or that the whole thing just falls apart. But there's all these little things that are added on. I think it's just built and it's just paced in such an amazing way that you only get a little morsel each time. But by the end, just it all falls in place. And I think this interaction with George Noyce is one of my personal favorites, is because so much can be inferred from what he's saying. Like, he's telling Teddy that like, he looks at his beat up face, like, you did this. And then you're like, wait, like,
yeah,
did he do it actually, or because of him trying to get George Noyce out of that situation, he got beat up by the guards? Because at the very first watching, you think that it's like, oh, he didn't literally do it. He having him go back into prison or going into this facility and getting beat up by the guards in Ward C, that is what he's saying, you did this. But there's more to it than that.
Yep.
Teddy meets up with Chuck, who tells him, hey, look, boss, I have the intake form for Latest. We have everything we need. We can go home now. Teddy's like, no. I'm going to look at that later. I need to go to that lighthouse. And he tells Chuck to wait there. He goes over and tries to climb down the rocks, but obviously having a rough time of things.
Yeah, fuck that.
He comes back and is like, hey, Chuck, yeah, it's too steep. And then Chuck isn't there. He looks 6 feet from the edge. Sorry. It was pretty far down, and sees Chuck dead on the rocks.
Dude, instant, I knew what you did.
Yeah. I mean, he technically was. Yeah. Teddy decides to climb down and notices that Chuck's body isn't there anymore. Instead, I know we have to have at least one Creed reference per episode, as well as Lord of the Rings, which is coming up soon. Here, I have a Lord of the Rings reference.
Oh,
and instead we see a giant horde of rats where the body would have been. They're all coming out of this hole, and there's tons of them.
Dude.
Ugh,
So we
ugh.
were watching this scene, and when all the rats came out, two of my cats started losing it. Dude, they came out from another room staring at the TV just and like going like this.
Oh man.
Yeah, Norman and Frankie, they were like, "What the fuck?" Frankie's
Oh,
brain, like the look on his face, it broke him
they're like, we're
because
gonna
they were
fuck
like,
those rats up.
yeah, it was, dude. Addie and I were laughing. That was
Oh,
fun.
that's funny. Oh, that's good. Well, yeah. So as he's seeing all of these rats, he sees a cave with a fire in it. He decides to go into this cave, and he sees the small fire and sees a woman. And this whole interaction at first kind of reminds me of in The Hobbit when Bilbo meets Gollum, because she looks, she's kind of haggard looking at this, and they're questioning each other, and he, it's a little bit more so later. There's another part too. Um, but yeah, he's talking to this woman, and she's the actual Rachel Solando. This
Mm,
woman is the real Rachel Solano, and she was not a patient. She was someone who worked there, and she was trying to stop what they were doing. She says that they're doing transorbital lobotomies going on in the lighthouse. They're trying to create super spies that cannot feel pain or remorse or sorrow. Our riff, by the way.
sorry, I had to.
Yeah, it's it it's a huge conspiracy, and Teddy will never leave. And then he asks her, like, well, wait, before I leave, I had a friend yesterday and lost him. Have you seen him? Marshall, you have no friends.
Yeah,
Ooh.
but then yeah, after this, you never see her again.
Yeah, you never see that Rachel. We never see
Mm.
Rachel Solando again.
She's
And
still jumping from cave to cave.
yeah, 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 yeah. As Teddy climbs out of the bay, he sees a Jeep pulling up, and it's the warden, Buffalo Bill himself.
This scene,
It's just the warden.
this
Yeah.
is the scene that I was like, it just looks so cheesy.
Yeah, and as he's driving him back to, the facility, and they have this interesting talk about how violence drives men like themselves. Teddy says, "You don't know me." The warden says, "Oh, I've known you for centuries." And before he drops him off, there's this really interesting line. "If I were to sink my teeth into your eye, would you be able to stop me before I blinded you? Give it a try." And he says, "That's the spirit." Like, all right.
Interesting.
Manly men. Teddy's back in the main ward to meet with Dr. Cowley, who says, yes, we're going to get back on the ferry and we're going to head home, like, done. And then he asks Dr. Cowley, hey, have you seen my partner, Chuck? And the doctor's like, you have no partner. You've been here alone. And that, I do remember that when I first watched that part, I was like, what? Whoa, he's
Well,
alone.
yeah, because,
Mark Ruffalo is fake.
right? It's Fight Club. It's
Yeah.
Fight Club.
It's like,
Sorry,
whoa.
wasn't supposed to
And
talk about
as
it.
that's happening, interesting is all the patients that I interviewed in like earlier in the movie are like staring at him, laughing at him, and one of them says, "Don't look that way. Don't look that way." Like all these little things, yet again, they're like proving that there is definitely some shenanigans going on now. And now shit gets real. After this shower, he decides to sneak off and figure out what the hell's going on. So he runs into Dr. Gehring and says, I'm going to try to get to the ferry. And he's like, yeah, you certainly can. I'll walk you down there. Dr. Gehring has a sedative in his hand. Teddy notices it, and Gehring laughs and says, what are you going to do? After he like tackles him and tries to take the syringe from him, Gehring says, what are you going to do? Kill me? He talks about how anything and everything provokes you into violence. A word, a mutter, anything. And he sticks him with the sedative, and Teddy's now running off to blow some shit up, literally. He runs outside to cause a distraction. He decides to blow up a car. And as the car is about to explode, his wife is appearing with that little girl, and they both blow up, and this image of them in flames goes up, and he then is going to the lighthouse. And as he's going to the lighthouse, there's a guard there, having a little pee break. And he takes the rifle from the guard, and the guard's like, what are you going to do? Kill me? I love how they keep asking that question. And then he knocks them out. And off to the lighthouse he goes. Now, before I
This
lay out
is
this next
it.
scene, this
Yep.
is my, I mean, this is the great, this, and I'll put this, we're always saying what scenes are best. This is the best scene here because the way I felt when all this came to a head when I first saw it, I still have those goosebumps after watching it the 10th, 11th time or whatever I'm at now. It's just the reveal is so well done. And I love how Leonardo DiCaprio like plays it. I love how Ben Kingsley plays it. This scene is just par excellence.
There's even a meme of it now.
Oh,
The
there is.
what the fuck is going on here? When Leo
Oh,
says that, yeah, I've seen it's been like popping up a lot lately. It'd be like something ridiculous, and it would be like, what the fuck's going on here?
oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
So
There you go.
that's what that little meme reel thing is from this movie. If you guys have seen that
Huh,
and
there
not
you
seen
go.
the movie,
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go. There you go. Yeah. So here we go. Teddy goes into the room and sees Dr. Cowley at a table, and Cowley says, "Why are you all wet, baby?" Teddy's confused, like, he's
it's
like,
fair.
what the hell are you doing? And Cowley tells him, "Look, just put the rifle down. It's empty. Take a seat." He's like very convenient. It is empty. There's not a single bullet in the chamber or anything,
Yeah.
or the rifle, whatever. I don't know, guns, bullshit. He lets someone know Teddy has. He gets on the radio, says Teddy's arrived, and says Dr. Sheehan should attend to the injured guard. And Teddy's like, oh, so Dr. Sheehan's back. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of things happening. Here we go. Who haven't seen this movie? Now's the time to turn back. Here we
Yep.
go. First, Teddy's told, you've been at this institution for 2 years, being treated as the 67th patient. Ooh. Colley says that, look, this is the end of the line. You need to confront your delusions or you will be lobotomized by the board. You're violent. You have attacked guards, orderlies. You almost killed George Noyce. Colley shows him a chart, the rule of fours,
Ah,
anagrams. It's each name is an anagram where the letters are switched around in a certain order. So in this case, Teddy Daniels is an anagram for Andrew Latis.
the
Rachel
four names.
Rachel Solando is the anagram for Dolores Chanel, the
Yep.
name of his wife. Rachel Solando, the psychiatrist he met in the caves, was not even real. Teddy's losing it when Colley's telling him he knows about every single detail of his story, even shows him a script of the things that he's repeated for the last few years. It's been the same story over and over and over again, except for this time, Colley says, I let you play it out. This time I let you play the whole thing out. We wanted to try something different, a role play to see if you would come to your senses of what happened. So 2 whole days they gave him. They gave him carte blanche to run around the entire facility with obviously some, stipulations. And when Andrew, now we can start calling him, so it's not Teddy anymore, we can start calling him Andrew. When
Yep.
Andrew starts demanding to have his partner back, Chuck comes in. He's like, hey, boss. He's in a nice suit.
You're like, oh, what the
Oh,
fuck? I
and
remember when Mark Ruffalo walks in, you're just like,
he
whoa,
just walks in, just like, hey, boss. Like,
like that.
what?
Yeah.
But it was never Chuck. He introduces himself as, hey, I've been your primary psychiatrist the past 2 years. Don't you recognize me? I'm Dr. Lester Sheehan. Oh, all the reveals just going. Uh-huh. Colley says that, look, you must come to your senses, but Andrew decides to reach for his gun that he had in the beginning as a federal marshal. And he's like, what are you going to do? The only way you can get out of here is you're going to have to shoot through us. And he does. He shoots Colley like 3 times. But he after he shoots him, he looks back and nothing happened. The gun is a toy. He breaks it in half and it turns in little pieces. It's a little plastic gun. When he's confronted with the facts about his wife, he says, look, all of this is your wife was a manic depressive and she killed her own children by drowning them in the lake. He attacks Sheehan and Colley starts showing him pictures of the dead children like, these are your children. He's like, I never had children. But he says, this girl, you see her in your dreams every night asking, why didn't you save us? Oh. And now we get the flashback to end all flashbacks. This one's a hard scene to watch, even after, like I said, 11th time. It's just, God, I couldn't imagine in this situation. He gets home, he can't find his wife or the kids. Um, he goes out to the lake and he sees his wife on the bench just sitting there and asks her, "Why are you all wet, baby?" And sees and asks like where the children are and like
She's like, "Oh, they're in
already
school." He's
they're in
like, "It's
school. It's like it's
Saturday." No,
Saturday.
they're not.
They're not. And she's like, "Well, they're in my school." It's like, ooh, God, the way she
Like,
says
oh
that. Just, oh,
god.
damn. And he looks out at the lake and he sees a body. And obviously freaking out, he runs out into the lake and tries to revive them. And all three of them are dead. He brings them all up and obviously is distraught. And Dolores, sorry, her name's not Dolores now, Rachel, or wait, no, her name is still Dolores. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
She says, "Oh no, they will be our living dolls. We can take them for a picnic, can set them at the dinner
Yeah.
table." It's like, oh God,
Weekend at Bernie's.
basically. And he decides, and she says, "Let me go, Teddy." And he shoots her right in the stomach, dead. That's why in the dream she is bleeding from her stomach. Um, and just all the little things in between. And he comes out of this dream, this flashback, and he sees Rachel. Oh wait, no, it's Rachel as a nurse, the fake Rachel. They go through the whole story again. It's like, look, we had a breakthrough 9 months ago, and everything seemed okay, but then you got back into your story again. We need to make sure that
Mhm.
this worked, or you will be out of our hands. He admits that I'm Andrew Latis. I killed my wife in the spring of 52 after she killed our 3 children. Whew. Outside, he's smoking with Sheehan, and Sheehan's like, "How's it going?" Like, "Good, good." And they're having a smoke, and he's like, "What should we do, Chuck?" Like, uh-oh. And he's like, "Well, Chuck," he's like, "we're gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna blow the lid off this place." Sheehan looks at Dr. Cowley and like shaking his head, but then this is why this is brilliant at the end here. When he's walking away, Andrew tells Sheehan, "What's better, to live as a monster or to die as a good man?" And right then and there, Sheehan realizes that he's choosing to be lobotomized, to forget everything that happened. So the role play actually worked, but too bad. Lighthouse, the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those last 30 minutes, like, where are you at with that? Because I think it's the best. I mean,
Oh,
that's the best part of the
yeah,
movie.
yeah. It's all just fucking bombs have been dropped. Just boom. Just the craziest reveal, I would
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
Especially watching the first time,
Oh, the
and
first time I
then
was like,
and then I didn't realize until this last time I've seen it, like, realize with that last line that you just quoted and everything, I was like,
mhm.
"Holy shit."
Yeah. When the first time I was like, oh, because the very first time I watched it, I'm like, oh man, it didn't work. He's gonna go be lobotomized now. Sad.
Yeah.
But by like the fifth or something, I think I was like, wait a minute. The entire point of him saying that is that no, he wants to die a good man. He doesn't want to keep living knowing that he did this. And to be lobotomized, hopefully he'll forget or he'll be put to or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Well, I mean, we have Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's and a great performance as always. I mean, I love all of his stuff. I
I
really
mean,
do.
everybody in this was great, I would
Yeah,
say.
Mark Ruffalo, Ben Kingsley, Max von Sydow, like the whole cast is stacked with
Yeah.
so many great actors. Um, Special makeup effects, I mean, not a ton of gore effects or like practical. There's some CGI, and like you said, there's some of it looks a little silly,
Green
but
screen.
yes, but the majority of it, we do have amazing cinematography and near perfect sound design. Like, oh man, it's just everything about it just looks and sounds great. So what would you say your overall feeling about it is? Like,
Oh, I mean, no, it's a great movie. I haven't watched it in a long time, probably 'cause I watched it a lot when it first came out. Um,
mhm,
and then I was actually surprised of how much I still liked it and how I
Yeah.
picked up on more stuff watching it this last time.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Like I knew when we were looking at the 2010 list, I'm like, yeah, we have to talk about Shutter Island.
I'm so glad we
But
did.
I'm really glad. Like, yeah, this movie needs to be talked about. And it's one of those, it's like, dang, it's already 16 years ago. And there's probably some people out there, younger people who haven't heard of this movie or haven't seen it yet. So I hope you didn't listen to the whole episode and get it spoiled for you. And you went back and you watched it. And then you came back and listened to us. But no, this movie's great.
Yes. Yeah, no, very big soft spot for this movie. I've watched it many, 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 many times since it came out. Since I rented it on just per chance. I'm like, this looked interesting and loved it. Total kills for I know sometimes you total kills for some of these movies. I'm like,
I didn't even
you got
that.
Yeah, this is more of a psychological thriller. Anyway,
there's a lot. Yeah.
Do you have some fun facts and trivia for us?
Sure. This film is Scorsese's second highest grossing movie. Interesting. Just behind, The Wolf of Wall Street 3 years later. And this is the only film between Scorsese and Leo that did not receive an Oscar nomination.
Every
other
single
one did. Okay.
From Gangs of New York.
And he didn't get one until, what was it, The Revenant?
Yep.
And it was like about fucking time.
Because
The Revenant's nuts.
Oh, is that a
there's some shit in
that might be a
bear attack.
Yeah, bears, fucking bears, man.
God.
So interesting thing about the sound, there's no original score composer for this.
Interesting.
There is a music producer named Robbie Robertson. He used a ton of pre-existing classical avant-garde music like Max Richter. That's the dun 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 dun. That's that part. So these are all like lesser known artists, and of course, obviously, they have Mahler in there, and like sound designers. So there's no real. So there's no. From what I can tell, there's no score or soundtrack. None of that. Very different. Very interesting. So. Yeah. So there's nothing to look up for that. Yeah, actors and crew.
Weird. Yep, we got our boy Leonardo DiCaprio plays Teddy Daniels. Mark Ruffalo is Chuck Owl. Ben Kingsley is Dr. Callie. Mac Von Sydow, Dr. Naring. Michelle Williams plays Dolores. Emily Mortimer plays Rachel number 1. Patricia Clarkson plays Rachel number 2. Jackie Earl Haley plays George Noyce. Ted Levine plays the warden. John Carroll Lynch plays Deputy Warden McPherson. And Elias Koteas plays Latest, quote unquote. The fake Latest. Over onto the crew. So Dennis Lehang wrote the novel, which I got to check out. Laida Kalogridis wrote the screenplay, and Robert Richardson did the cinematography. Thelma Schoonmaker was the editor. Dante Ferretti on the production design. Robert Guerra as the supervising art director. Manila Rocchetti, Patricia Reagan, Sharon Smith, they were the makeup artists. Jeremy Aiello, Vance Hartwell, Akita, and Michael Ornelis. They were on Legacy Effects Incorporated. And then we also had New Deal Studios for digital effects, which has there's always going to be more than a dozen people.
Yeah,
there's
with some of those
people always involved in all of these.
Yep.
Marin Scorsese, the director. I mean, if you haven't heard of him, that's kind of crazy. Cinema, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
So Mean Streets, Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, Casino, Cape Fear, The Departed, Raging Bull, Gangs of New York. Oh yeah, worked regularly with Leo, and Robert De Niro. He's one of the most recognizable directors in recent cinema history, known for gritty city landscapes, anti-heroes, complicated relationships that deal with abuse, the toughest part of human nature, and he has won Palme d'Ors, Golden Globes, Academy Awards, and much more.
He's also won awards in almost every film festival, anything, anywhere, because he's Amazing.
Cinema.
Yes. Yeah.
He's known for using a narrator, long tracking shots, like in Goodfellas when Henry walks Karen through the kid. Oh yeah. Freeze frames. Loves using '60s rock in his films, especially Rolling Stones, and
Almost
willing to.
Gimme Shelter is in so many of his films.
Oh God.
So many of his films. It's fine. I like the Rolling Stones. Just like he loves the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, this guy is willing to showcase violence and its effects on society. It was released February 19th, 2010 in the USA. Filmed in Pedix Island, Boston Harbor. Oh, I should have just went.
Yeah.
What? I gotta look at this place. Budget $80 million and made $294.9 million in the box office. Interesting Rotten Tomato score: 69% from critics and 77% from the audience.
I would say this might be one of his lowest rated films, which is, I mean, it's
What?
still high, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if that's necessarily true, but still, it's interesting to think about.
It's
Yeah.
rated high on Letterboxd. That's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to watch this? I'm looking at it right now. You could rent or buy. Buy this movie.
Yep.
It's not
Rating
streaming
system,
anywhere. It's
buy
not
it.
streaming anywhere. Why are you going to rent it digitally? Why are you going to buy it digitally? Don't buy it physically. You can
Yep.
have it forever. Just like me. I've had this movie for like 15, 16 years.
Yep.
Never had a problem. I get to watch it whenever I want.
Nope. This is one to buy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is a buy it movie. I love it. It's excellent. In 2010, see you later.
That is it for 2010. So we did kind of mention some films I remember on the Black Swan episode. But just a quick do-over for those missed: Piranha 3D, Troll Hunter, The Ward, Resident Evil Afterlife, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, Scared Shrekless. Yep. I Spit on Your Grave, Shark.
Well, that would have been a remake one, but that's a tough film, so you can move on.
Lead. I like how you put a Serbian film. You put no. Lake Placid 3, Lost Boys, The Thirst, Puppet Master, Axis of Evil, and Mirrors 2, and then 30 Days of Night, Dark Days, and then
30 Days of Night.
Sequel. And then two movies that we were going to cover, but we weren't able to: Devil and I Saw the Devil.
I Saw the Devil would have been so great. I love Korean horror. So, yeah, we'll come back to it maybe someday.
And that is going to be it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please guys give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast.
Give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. Obviously, we love interacting with you guys, and we're always watching films. So you can also follow us on our favorite platform, Letterboxd, where we put up all the movies we discuss and then some. Dustin, what is your Letterboxd?
It is Dustin at HFMMPOD.
Yep, and mine is Kevin at HFMM. Yeah, HFMM pod. I mean, sorry. And I please just give us a shout. Look at what films we're watching, because we're watching tons more outside of just these. Trust me, a lot of films we're watching. A lot of films. I think I have 102 for this year. I think last time I checked.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Where am I at?
So that sounds right. I gotta check myself. I think 102. That's right. So I just watched one earlier today that I thought was just fan-frickin-tastic. Yeah. Where does it say? Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. 105 this year. God damn. That's crazy.
Where am I at? Ratings. By year. No. Oh. Not all time. 2026. 140.
Damn. Okay. You got me beat.
Wait, how?
Sheesh.
140. Well, how? Okay, I don't know. I
That's a
averaged
that's impressive.
4.6 weeks, but the last couple of weeks, when I was out of town, I am at an all-time low in July.
Ah, there you go.
You can even see this chart's really funny. It just starts going down.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where we love Letterbox. We're on there regularly, so make sure to check us out there. You can also just email us directly at hmmpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys. As you can see, we've had a variety of guests lately. We've had, and it's not just people that, make movies. So trust me, we'd like to get the big ones in, but people that enjoy collecting and cleaning VHS, or people who do ghost tours. Like, we love just having guests that love this space of horror. So please, no matter who you are, I want you to come on in and discuss with us.
Mm.
So now, what is going to do in our next episode?
So we're doing a little pivot, as we have all discussed, me and you and Kendra.
Mhm.
And as people know, we lost Sam Neill recently,
Yeah.
and he is in too many good movies that we need to talk about. So we're going to do a
True.
little Sam Neill retrospective, and then after that, it'll probably be Halloween, October time, and
Oh man.
and then we'll a couple of different side quests, and then we'll make our way to 2020.
Ooh, that was a rough year.
Yeah,
Had some good movies, but boy, it was rough.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah,
All
that's gonna be
right.
the next episode. We got The Omen 3 and Possession, which I just watched The Omen 3 last night. And I think, as we've discussed, we're not gonna do like in-depth scene by scene with these movies. We're going to do more of just a discussion and Sam Neill's part in them.
Yeah.
But yes, that's going to be our next episode.
Hell yeah.
And until then, everybody, stay spooky.